Good eve. Good eve. Techno version. Error. Good evening. Good evening. Shabbat Shalom. One more time. Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Mr. Barron. In an inspiring speech addressing the Union for Reform Judaism's 47th Biennial Banquet in November 1963, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. highlighted the involvement of Jews in the civil rights movement and charged us with challenges that we face in our pursuit of social justice, which still holds true today, stating, quote, "Human progress comes through the tireless efforts and the persistent work of dedicated individuals who are willing to be co-workers with God. And without this hard work, time itself becomes an ally of the insurgent and primitive forces of social stagnation and irrational emotionalism. We must help time, and we must realize that the time is always to do right. Right to do right. For the past 70 or so years, the Religious Action Center has embraced this principle, that the time to act is now, that each of us must play an active role in Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, as part of our daily lives. Today, on this Shabbat Tzedek, the Shabbat immediately prior to Martin Luther King's birthday, let us celebrate the work of the Religious Action Center, the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and let us pray together and gain inspiration for our personal and collective pursuit of justice. You and I together. Ani ve'ata, page 348. And before we formally begin our Shabbat service with the candle lighting on page 2, before I invite Dale to lead us in the Shabbat candle lighting on page 2, I'd like to take a few moments now, as we do at the beginning of every service. We're not going to go 15 minutes like we have in the past. And we're going to recognize simchas, birthdays, anniversaries, things that have happened good in your life in the past week since last Shabbat. I will get things started by saying that I am a very proud, as every single day, Georgia Bulldog, that we won back-to-back national championships. So I will start off with that, and now we can have all the hope in the world until August comes around and football starts again. Anybody else? In the back, Barbara? You're welcome. And I want to point out that when I asked Larry how he was doing, he said, meh. I said, why meh? He said, it's because it's cold outside. Talk to your daughter. Yes, sir. Fantastic. When you see her next, tell her I said, welcome home. Yes. I'm sorry. That's great. Congratulations to him. Any others? Yes, Betsy? And Barbara is a Methodist minister? Methodist minister. You might have known my uncle if you're in North Carolina. We'll talk afterwards. Welcome, welcome. Anybody else? Well, I'm going to brag on Carly. She was selected to represent her school to audition for colleges at the State Theater Festival in Tampa in March. Did you have a special day this week, Raul? 35? 36. Double high. Wonderful. Any others? I'd like to say welcome back to the Williams. We've missed you while you were in Baltimore. Glad that you're back. And we will turn to page 2 in our prayer books now for Shabbat candlelighting.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Amen. A rabbi and a soap maker once went for a walk together. The soap maker said to the rabbi, "What good is Judaism? After thousands of years of teaching about goodness, truth, justice, and peace, after all the study of Torah and all the fine ideals of the prophets, look at all the trouble and misery in the world. If Judaism is so wonderful and true, why should all this be so?" The rabbi said nothing. They continued walking until he noticed a child playing in the gutter. The child was filthy with soot and grime. "Look at that child," said the rabbi. "You say that soap makes people clean, but see the dirt on that youngster. What good is soap? With all the soap in the world, that child is still filthy. I wonder if soap is of any use at all." The soap maker protested and said, "But Rabbi, soap can't do any good unless it is used." "Exactly," cried the rabbi. "So it is with Judaism. It isn't effective unless it is applied in daily life and used." We continue singing Dodi Li on page 11.
Dodi li va'ani lo haroeh b'shoshanim. Dodi li va'ani בשושנים. מי זאת עולה מן המדבר? מי זאת עולה? מי כותרת מור לבונה, מור לבונה. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. ליבבתיני אחותי קולה, ליבבתיני קולה. ליבבתיני אחותי קולה, ליבבתיני קולה. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. אורי צעפון ובואי תימן. אורי צעפון ובואי תימן. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים.
I refuse to accept the idea that the isness of man's present nature makes him morally incapable of reaching up for the eternal oughtness that forever confronts him. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that the unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, men other-centered can build up. I still believe that we shall overcome. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on his Nobel Prize acceptance speech, December 10th, 1964. We continue on page 24, singing Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Boachem l'shalom malachei hashalom malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Zedchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Please turn to page 26 and rise for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. Bi'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'meru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'l'olmei almaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei kudasha brechu, leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiran b'yalma, v'meru, amen. Page 28, Baruch Hu.
La 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la.
Please be seated. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I have a dream, delivered August 28, 1963. We continue singing Ahavat Olam on page 32.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ahavta Torah Mitzvot Chokim Mishpatim Otanu Limadita Al Ken Adonai Eloheinu B'shachmeinu u'v'kumeinu Nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayenu ve'orach yameinu uvehem nege yomam v'layla.
Please rise for the Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai
Please be seated. We continue chanting Ve'ahavta, page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam livanecha vedibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayulototafot bein einecha uktavtam Amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. In the Jewish tradition, the separation between prayer and action is slight. We're mindful of the admonition in Isaiah where God says, I don't want your fast and your sacrifice. I want you to deal your bread to the hungry, tear apart the chains of the oppressed. And Leviticus 19 tells us that to be holy in the way God is holy means to set aside a corner of our fields for the poor and homeless, to pay the laborers a timely and fair wage, and to remove stumbling blocks. These are religious activities just as much as prayer is. They are all woven together. After participating in the Civil Rights March in Selma, Alabama, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, one of this last century's great religious figures and a close colleague of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, said, quote, "It felt like my feet were praying." Prayer is not just the communication we have with God. It is also the work we do to make God's values real to the world. I think God listens to both kinds of prayer with equal joy. Rabbi David Saperstein, former director of the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism. We continue singing our own freedom song, Micha Mocha, page 40. So I was going to sing a song here, but I'm not. I'm going to continue the next thing in the service. but I'll give Dale a break by her voice for a moment by saying, and I did not plan this, I promise, because I didn't know that there were going to be people in our congregation this evening who actually used to be members of my old congregation in Marietta, who now live here. And the reason I say that is because tonight I'm going to be at the end of the Amidah section where we would normally go, Atah Kadosh Shimcha Kadosh. I'm actually going to be playing a video of Blake Singer with Nefesh Mountain and the choir at Temple Kolemeth from several years ago. So you guys can hear what Atah Kadosh is going to sound like, because next week, Jay and Dale, maybe Raul, I don't know.
As soon as we learn it.
Hopefully, we'll be singing that as part of our service, and I really didn't know there were going to be people from Marietta here, so it works out really perfectly well. Get a little bit of both. So with that, we'll continue singing Yismechu on page 44.
Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagei haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagei haaretz. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam umalo. 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 Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagei haaretz.
We turn our prayer books now to page 46 and rise for the Amidah. Adonai sefatai tivtach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo bi'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech meimit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei hakol. Please be seated. Guys, don't worry. I didn't play it. Oh. Does that embarrass you, Carly? See, I've got one kid saying turn it off, and the other saying why did it turn it off? And you guys all thought Slim Shady was about to come on next, didn't you? Just so you know, your rabbi has kinds of likes, multi-genre of likes of music. We will continue in our prayer book on page 55. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We continue singing Shalom Rav on page 60.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamvorech et Amo Yisrael, Bashalom.
We're going to go a little out of order here. We're going to jump right into our silent meditation now for a few moments, your own silent thoughts and prayers. And in just a few moments, we will break that up with the singing of Oseh Shalom on page 62.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, Yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Since we have so many guests in our congregation this evening, I want to remind everyone that when it comes time for Misha Berach, which is be just a moment here, or for the Mourner's Kaddish at the end of the service, I'll open the floor for two people who want to include names in either memory for the Kaddish or prayers of healing for the Misha Berach. They don't have to be Jewish. They just have to be somebody in your circle of family or friends or community. So don't feel bashful. If there's someone that you know in your life that needs healing, we're here to help. This Shabbat, our congregation considers the names of Michael Ahern, Herbert Brinker, Peter Clark, Carol DeWitt, Tracy Duquette, the Harari family, Yocheved Bracha Bat Devora, Isabel Hutchins, Elise Kaplan, Kathy Katz, Sharon Kennedy, Jean Kincaid, Leslie Lado, Ruth Martin, Allison Nathan, Abraham Ben Lieber Vipitzalel, Joel Newman, Helen Newman, Jenna Newman, Michael Nusanov, Anat Prager, Hillary Katz-Regan, Chuck Ritchie, Emily Rockland, Moish Rosenblum, Christine Ruckman, Jackie Sachs, Dr. Hossein Tehrani, Bonnie Tillman, Patrick Clifton, husband of Sarah Clifton, Kim Conrad, daughter of Rita Singer, Joel Coltrera, son of Kathy Katz, Beverly Gordon, remembered by Amy Schwartz, Kim Hudson, friend of Deborah Johnson, Hillel Roebuck, cousin of Dale Berman Garfinkel, Ann Sack, sister-in-law of Betsy Brody, and Elizabeth Wadbrook, friend of Betsy Brody. If there's a name you'd like to add into our prayers of healing, please raise your hand. Mildred. Joe. Michael. Linda. Okay, I didn't hear you, sorry. Page 253, Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha La'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Several years ago, I authored an article for the Atlanta Jewish Times regarding the importance of voting in the World Zionist Congress, and more specifically for the Association of Reform Zionists of America and their platform. Needless to say, I was honored and, of course, accepted the opportunity to share my views and passion for Israel and progressive Judaism. At the time, Artza was focused on 3 topics leading up to the WZC elections: women's rights and gender equality, religious equality among all Jews, and the safety, security, and stability of Israel. For the purpose of tonight's sermon, I'm going to focus on women's rights and gender equality. As a rabbi, I often turn to our sacred texts to garner support or evidence for subjects I teach about. Well, in Parshat Shmot, this week's Torah portion, you may be surprised to hear that we find a central focus on women and their roles in the continuation of our people. It's very easy when studying this portion to miss this focus, which is why I said you may be surprised. Let me explain. The beginning of the Portia. Ve'ela shmot b'nei Yisrael haba'im Mitzrayim et Yaakov ish uveito ba'u. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob, each coming with his household. What follows are the names of the 11 male children of Jacob, as Joseph was already there in Egypt. Is there anything that seems off about this list? Aha, yes. There is no mention of the women that joined them. Well, at least not by name. The focus, at least at first, is on the sons and their households. One of Jacob's children is not named. He had a daughter, Dinah, which is, her story is not so great. She is not mentioned here in the beginning of Exodus, and neither are any of the other important women in this family. However, back in Genesis 46, at the end of the book of Bereshit, we find the first list of the names of those who traveled to Egypt. All of the females are listed. Did they leave them on the side of the road on the way to Egypt? It's a very interesting omission here, if you ask me. What I find most interesting about this omission is that without women, there would be no book of Exodus, or people in general. The whole story of Exodus hinges on 2 women that are only named once in the entire Bible, Shiphrah and Puah, the midwives that were responsible for delivering the children of the Israelites. As a matter of fact, the entire book of Exodus relies on women, those that are named and those that are unnamed. Let's explore for a moment the female characters that appear in Parshat Shmot. The Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, who I already mentioned. They disobeyed Pharaoh's decree to kill all the sons born of the Israelites. Yocheved, the mother of Moses, who saves him herself. Miriam, the sister of Moses, who plays a vital role in securing Moses' safety. The daughter of Pharaoh, who saves Moses from the river. And Zipporah, Moses' wife, who saves him while they are traveling to Egypt. All of the women that I have just named are extraordinary examples of the strength of women in Judaism. Judaism is often viewed as a patriarchal or patrilineal-based religion. This has always bothered me. After all, it is the mother who gives birth. For me, the primary lesson in Parshat Shmot, the necessity of women and the roles they play in the stories of our lives, is often glanced or glossed over. And this draws me back to my original message in my sermon, the importance of voting and supporting Artza in any upcoming WZC election, with the next election coming in the next couple of years. And if you're paying attention at all to the news, you know that liberal Judaism is really on the ballot in Israel right now. So the more that we can do to apply pressure to Israel in a right and appropriate way is best. But let me share a bit of my column with you. While I was living in Israel in 2007, I took a taxi with a few of my friends to go to the mall. As was usually the case, the driver started to ask us about our visit to Israel. When one of my friends, a female cantoral student remarked she was studying to be a chazanit, the driver stopped his cab, yelled that there was no such thing as a female chazan, and then kicked us out of his cab. Yeah, it happened. Rabbi Miri Gold earned the dual distinction of being the first female and the first non-Orthodox rabbi to receive a paycheck from the state of Israel as a rabbi. Anat Hoffman, often seen being arrested at the Western Wall for her leadership of Women of the Wall, just wants the right to pray, to read Torah, and to wear a talis. These are just two incredible women doing their parts to ensure gender equality in Israel. Rabbi Gold, because she is not an Orthodox rabbi, is not granted the same status as her Orthodox colleagues. The very character of the state of Israel is affected by these unequal policies. By denying its non-Orthodox Jewish citizens equal treatment under the law, Israel violates its own Declaration of Independence, which guarantees freedom of religion. As a rabbi, I stand 100% with Israel. The people, the food, the culture, I love it all. However, as an American Jew, I understand that there are opportunities for me and all American Jews to help shape the future of Israel. Israel is not just the homeland for Israeli Jews. It's the homeland for all Jews. As a Reform rabbi, I support ARTSA, the Association of Reform Zionists of America. ARTSA speaks for all Jews, providing a valuable voice for women's rights and gender equality, religious equality among all Jews, and for the safety, security, and stability of Israel, the Palestinians, and the entire Middle East region. Will you step up and do your part to help create an Israel that cherishes the same values we cherish? Each of us has a critical voice and a critical opportunity. When the next WZC elections come around, I will let you know, because they will meet in Jerusalem to discuss, debate, and make decisions about critical issues, decisions that will continue to shape Israel today and into the future. Israel was founded to be a pluralistic and democratic Jewish state. By supporting ARTSA, you ensure that the dream of the founders of Israel will be realized one day. Next month, I will be attending the Central Conference of American Rabbis annual conference. Every 7 years, the conference is held in Israel. This year, we will be based in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. However, we will be traveling throughout the country, meeting with Jews, Muslims, Christians, and other minority groups in Israel. There are many different tracks offered, including spending time in Palestinian cities and meeting with officials, both from the Israeli and the Palestinian governments. One of the most exciting parts of this conference will be spending Shabbat with a Reformed Jewish community in Israel. Hebrew Union College has been ordaining Israeli rabbis since, Rabbi Harari was in the first class. It is truly amazing to see how Reform Judaism has impacted Israel and to see the changes throughout the years. While we have come a long way, liberal Judaism still has a way to go for complete and total equality in Israel. You do not have to be a rabbi to have an impact on this. Do not hesitate to be in touch with me if you'd like to help. If you have any questions, I'm always available to be asked. Shabbat Shalom. We will continue with, none of my children are here, so if you feel young enough to be a kid, come on up and open up the Ark doors for Aleinu on page 282. Please rise. Nobody feels young enough to be a kid? Come on, Lorena, we got you. You're a grandmother?
I am.
No way. Open the Ark doors, please. Slide. Slide.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'nishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinatu zo, begavhei meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einon, Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato, Kach katuv b'Torato, V'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha, Ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim ima'al, ve'aretz mitachat Einon. Page 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Thank you, Shabbat Shalom. Please be seated. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal circle of darkness and death, of light and life. This Shabbat, our congregation commemorates the death anniversaries, the yahrzeits of Lois Carlin, Albert Stern, grandfather of Ruth Stern, Sarah Mark, Harry Plashitsky, Ida Olstein, mother of Arnold Olstein, grandmother of Philip, Richard Rademacher, husband of Dorothy Rademacher, Sylvia Barron, mother of Barbara Adler. And we are in Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period, for Susan Petrie, the sister of Rochelle Jarofsky, and Wesley Schuyler, the son of Sam and Joanna Schuyler. If there is another name that you'd like to add in our prayers of memory, please raise your hand. We rise together as a community and we join with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, Bialma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon, U'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kari ve'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mivarach leolam ulomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brechu. Le'elam in kol berchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May all their memories be for a blessing. And we say together, Amen. Please be seated. And now, our president with some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I don't know, is it on, Dale? Hopefully it is. I want to let you know that, remind you that next... Oh, hang on. Okay. Do I need to hang on to something? Anyway, next week, next Friday night, we have our family service at 5:45 for the kids with pizza, the whole bit. Also, next Saturday is the play, Bill W. and Dr. Bob. Please, it's not too late to buy tickets. We hope all of you will come. It should be a wonderful performance. I want to let you know that if you need anything on the schedule, to please let the rabbi know or Vanessa in the office know. We still need people to sponsor Onyx. Tommy is back and would be happy to take your name if you would like to sponsor an Onyx. And thank you to Wayne is up in the booth tonight. He and the Rocklands are still the certified folks to do any kind of streaming. I also want to say...
But are they certifiable?
Well, that group is. Amy Schwartz, you can buy trees from Amy in Israel for any happy occasion. Rochelle and Jackie are here. If you need something from the Judaica store, please remember flowers. Our Joyce Levin is here and more than happy to take your money or reservation. Tonight's Onik is sponsored by Dale and Raul in honor of their 13th anniversary. Congratulations. Bema Flowers tonight, Nate Grossman in honor of Susan's birthday. Stan Webbins in honor of his birthday. Happy birthday, Stan. Dale and Raul in honor of their 13th anniversary. And again, Shabbat Shalom.
I have been requested, it has been requested of me, I shall say, to, it sounds a little not righteous, but you're heading in the right direction. Self-serving, but more than that. So Julie Rockland has agreed to come up with these dinner with the rabbi and his wife. This month's dinner was canceled because only 2 people showed up. 2 people signed up, not showed up because it hasn't happened yet. Hasn't been canceled, but it is. So I'm all right. That's fine. But you really want to have dinner with Bacha. So if nothing else, it's worth it to pay the money to have dinner with the Bacha. And I'm just the side guy. So please contact Julie Rockland if you're interested in the future, because it really is the opportunity. There's no agenda. It's just the chance for us to get to know each other a little bit better. And I think it'll be a great opportunity to do so. Our closing song this evening is Adon Olam on page 321.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yisir Nivra, Li'it Nasa, B'chaf Sakol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Kilot Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa B'chaf Sakol Asai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam V'hu Echad V'ein Sheni Laham Shilo Lahachbira Adon Olam B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'os V'hamizra Adon Olam Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa V'chaf Sakol Asai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzor Havli B'yitzara Adon Olam V'hu Nisi Umanos Li V'not Kosi B'yom Ekra Adon Olam Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa V'chaf Sakol Asai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Be'ado Avkid Ruchi Be'eti Shan V'ayra Adon Olam V'im Ruchi Geviati Adonai Li V'lo Ira Adon Olam Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'et Nasa V'chaf Sakol Asai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
Well done, well done. Thank you to Dale and Jay and Raul for the music accompaniment and addition of our spirituality to this service. Raul, you are welcome to leave right now because you're going to be going to do Kiddush and Motzi, and we don't want you to get stopped along the way. Please do not wait for me to come in there like everyone does, because I will get stopped along the way. So whenever you get in there and the sufficient number of people are in there, just go for it. Don't make people wait for their food. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.